Hey everybody, I am going to jump right into our check-in today. I want to make sure I get my invitation sent out right away. So if you can bear with me as I go through and start inviting those individuals that are going to be joining us today. We have a all-female panelist group today. So let's see, make sure I've got everyone covered here. And hopefully you all are having a wonderful weekend so far. There we go. All right. I see my ladies already starting to come. All right, we've got one. Karen, it's saying that you might be having an issue. Hopefully you're trying to join through your camera. Tamafar Smith. Look, Tamafar Smith. All right. Let me try adding Karen one more time. Karen is giving me an error. And if you're trying to join through your laptop, please try it through your phone, or you may have to do something with your settings. And hopefully we will have both Karen and Carolina going to be joining us. As I mentioned, we've got our sister Tammy Farr Smith has joined us right now. Tammy, we can see your lamp. Can't see you, we can see the lamp. Let's see. All right, there we go. A little bit better. All right. Charlie, I see that you are here. Brother, thank you for jumping on. So just really quickly for anyone that is going to join us here in a couple of minutes that will watch this after the fact, you'll hear me say this a couple of times. This is our monthly check-in with that both myself and my good friend Charlie Red host every single month on Facebook Live. We basically have conversations all the time, but this is something that we wanted to kind of bring to the masses so that way we can have conversations with all of you. And we do it on a monthly basis. And let me just scroll and make sure. Tammy, I think you might be frozen. Looks like you might be frozen. So you may want to double check your settings there. And so today we are doing a all-female led group, or panelists as I like to call them. And so right now we're just making sure that everyone is here and available. So Karen, again, I'm still getting an error message from you. So I think what I'd like to do is, Tammy, if you can hear me, if you can possibly join a second time, because it looks like you're frozen. Yeah, it looks like you're possibly frozen. There we go. All right. Greg Carter, I see you. You jumped on here, Brother Greg. I see you. Good to see you. And good morning, brother. Brother Chuck, I also see you as well, obviously. So hopefully you're having a good weekend as well. So for today's panelist group, as I mentioned, it is all female. We are going to be talking about the dilemmas of being a kind soul and kind of everything that goes on with respect to that. Hey, Brother Carter, GC, good to see you. I think I'm going to go back in and see if I can bring up the ladies again. Might be some technical issues, so hopefully they're able to see it and they're able to join. Let's see who I can see. Okay, I'm going to add Tammy. Okay, it's saying it's some kind of a technical issue, Tammy, so I don't know what's going on there. I'm not sure what the problem might be. You were able to join and then all of a sudden you weren't. So I'm not sure particularly what that is. Carolina, I see you. I'm going to see if I can bring you on. Morning, Chuck. Thank you for joining us again this morning. Carol, you are coming up right now, my dear. So Tammy, I don't know if you just need to jump out and jump back in. I'm not sure. Yeah. Carolina. Hey, sister. See
Hello.
Good morning. I know it's early for you.
Not really. 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
You get older, you get up. When you get older, you get up earlier in the morning, so it's okay.
You better say that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just waiting for the other two ladies to join us. I can tell you that, and this is one of the reasons being why I like to try to jump on early if I can, but it's giving technical errors. So I wonder if it's something in the settings for either of those ladies, why they might not be able to join. So if they can go in and take a peek, that'd be perfect. Carol, are you still in the IE somewhere thereabouts? Or have you moved out of Cali?
No, I'm San Bernardino, born, raised, work, live, still here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, good stuff. I'm going to try one more time just to see if there's a way I might be able to invite some people here. although it's already showing that I've invited the other ladies, but for whatever reasons being, I think it might be an issue that they have with their settings. And so hopefully we can get that rectified relatively quickly. In the
Okay.
meanwhile, Carol, again, appreciate you for jumping on. I'm getting notifications. Okay, Tammy, I'm going to try you again, my love. Let's try it again here. There we go, Tammy. It's coming. Come on, Tam. Come on, come on. And it's there. There she is.
She there?
Tammy Farr Smith. There she is. Yes, please. Karen, if you happen to be watching, I'll be on the lookout for you. I think it'll give me a notification when you join the room. And then I will just add you at that point. Okay. Ladies, are you having any issues hearing, seeing? I just
No.
want to make sure that you all can hear. Okay, great. Okay, good, good, good. Okay. All right, ladies. Well, again, welcome, welcome, and early morning to you, ladies.
Early
Tammy, I know
morning.
you are you're in Pacific Northwest. I'm just
Yes.
saying, you know, it's
Yes.
like it's 11 o'clock out here, so you know. Uh, and Carolina, you said you are still in the E, huh? Somewhere in the
Still
E.
am here in the IE.
All right,
Yes.
girl. Listen, we have to get into that here in a few minutes because you know, I love when we're still representing the E that we haven't gone too far away. So good stuff to know. All right. Well, ladies, as we had talked about, and we'll go ahead and jump right in. Well, let me stop. Let me say this first. First time the three of us have seen each other, and God only knows. Carol, I don't think I've seen you since '87. Tammy, I've probably seen you back in '87, '8, '9, something,
89.
something like that.
89. Yeah.
Wow, we're talking 80s.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes. Go Patty.
Ah, that's bad. Look, that's bad. So I'm so happy that you ladies decided to jump on and chat about what I consider to be a very important topic because I think you ladies can speak definitively from a place of, if you think of it as someone trying to take your kindness for weakness, I'm sure you ladies specifically could talk about this topic, right?
I think
You
everybody
know,
kind of can.
come on
Yeah.
now, come on now. So for today's purposes for the check-in, with this being all female, and not to take anything away from Chuck, it's just that I thought it would be interesting to get the perspective of women to see what it is that we've experienced and encountered, and maybe can share some of that with people that are tuning in, listening in, because again, it's just about sharing the wealth in this kind of conversation. So when I talked about the topic, and this is one that actually Charlie had brought forward for us to be able to cover, about the dilemmas of being a kind soul. You know, I really feel like there is a tendency for people to take what it is that they see on the surface and they assume that that's exactly who you are through and through, when technically, no. I mean, I've known both of you ladies for some time. You know, Carol, you're not nothing to play with. You are nothing to play with, and you know, don't let that smile fool you. That girl's not playing with y'all. And Tammy, same conversation. It's like, y'all better leave Tammy alone. Y'all don't know her like that. You've been to snap your head off, and then there you'll be decapitated. And it's not my fault. I try to tell you. But anyway,
No.
right. So with that being said, I'd like to kind of open it up because I know that I approached you ladies to see, is there anything specifically about the topic of just being either considered to be a kind soul or literally being kind, and someone possibly taking that at face value and not really knowing you? Is there anything you'd like to bring forward as joining the pod this morning?
Well, with me, like personally,
Mm-hmm.
I try to be kind.
Mhm.
I at my core try to be kind. I do, however, have a very strong character, so I might not always come off as, looking at me initially, you won't say, oh, she's soft, sweet. I'm more of a strong personality. I have a strong character. I think, I don't know if it's because of my job or, you know, I feel like I need to be, but I do definitely think that the inside is kind, and you know, if it comes to making a decision where it kind always wins. So, but on the surface, it's not the first thing people might see. I think they see the strong character
Mm-hmm.
first
Mhm.
in my
Mm-hmm.
personal. But I definitely, kindness. I drive my son to school in the mornings because I had my son late in life. I have a young kid. He's 13,
Mm-hmm.
and when I drive
Mm-hmm.
him to school, I would tell him every day, be kind. He's okay, mom. Okay, mom. Be kind, because that means a lot, and it goes a long way. Just those two words, be
Absolutely.
kind. So I
Yep.
think that I try to embed it in his mind, so that it's deep down in his soul, that when it comes time to make that choice, and he's like, maybe he'll hear those words that I keep repeating every morning when I drop him off in school. So I try.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're right. It's work. It's an absolute
Mhm.
work. It's not something that I think that we are inherently.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So, okay. Tammy, how about yourself, love?
In
Uh-oh.
the same, well, no, for me, it's been work related. But to echo on what Carolina was saying, with our kids and teaching them to be kind, for me, I always added on to it. Be kind, but don't be submissive. Don't
Mm,
let them, don't remind people that, yes, I have a good heart, but I'm not going to be kind just to be kind type
mm-hmm,
of thing. Like, I'm going to read the room and look at the situation and look at how people move
mm-hmm,
to know how much of your kindness energy you need to bestow upon them.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Um, but mine has usually it's been through work settings. It's
mm-hmm,
been through work settings. Yeah.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, you all mentioned your kids kind of first as something that you've been teaching them. Carolina, well, Cam and I started a little bit younger than you in terms of having kids, but I mean, that's what it is,
Yeah, I
It is.
started really late.
We got kids in our 30s. I'm just saying, or Tammy soon to be 30, but 30s, yeah, I'm like, no, my oldest son's going to be 33.
Oh,
Wow.
But I,
okay. Well, hey, my oldest will be 31. My youngest just turned 23.
right.
Well, my
Yeah.
one and only 13. It's like, I'm way
And
That's
behind.
okay, girl. That's okay.
he's a
Look,
I'm
teenager
behind.
that's all
now.
right. Look, you're
That
able to
is all
handle it at this
right.
age. Imagine if you would have done it 20 years before. That's a whole different conversation. But anyway, let's go back. Because your kids could take your kindness for weakness too. I'm just saying that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
We could open
Oh,
up that
oh,
door, or we could
oh.
talk about it. But I think for me, when you talk about your kids and teaching them to be kind, I was raising young men by myself. And Carolina, again, you say you have a son. Tammy, I know you've got two daughters. But I'm raising these young men by myself, and to tell them to be kind and courteous and polite to people are things that I echoed. Now, will I say that I was always that? No, I wasn't. I mean, y'all know me.
Right.
I was ugly acting for a long time.
Right.
But something over the years that I've had to grow to learn is that you really, really, really should kill people with kindness. It goes a lot
Mm-hmm.
further along that road. It
Mm-hmm.
goes a long way. And I think that to see the successes that my children have had in their own lives, um, based upon that core value, it has boded well for them. But I'm not going to toot my horn because these are grown people I'm talking about.
Right.
Nothing to do with me. This is all them. So, but with that being said, no, I believe the same as you. It's being kind is something that is an absolute work. It is not something that just happens just because. And a lot of people, as we mentioned, will take it as a weakness in you. Now, I'm going to come back around Carolina because we all know, shout out to Carolina, to her family, Amapola, we love it. How
Thank
many
you,
years
thank
has the
you.
business been in
Yes.
existence, number one? And number two, how many years have you been at the helm now? I'm just curious.
Well, my mom started the business in 76. I literally started working at 7 years old. Like, nobody believed me at 7. I was a full-blown cashier at 12, like full, I had to bake to go to games at
She
Eisenhower because
told
it
me
was Friday
that.
nights, and my mom's like, no, I need you. So that was always an issue. Um, so yeah, it's many, many years. But an actual, like, an administrative side of it, in my 20s, my mid
Mm,
20s is when I finally said, okay, this is our business and let me take it serious. And I took kind of control of the administrative side of it.
mhm.
And so yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah,
Wow.
Mhm.
many, many years. We've got I'm really proud of my mom. She talked, that's a whole other show you can do is
I'd love to.
just
Anytime.
my
Anytime.
mom's story is incredible. But yeah,
Yes.
so we have 5 restaurants right now.
Mm.
So that's keeps, you know,
Oh, Keeps you
Girl,
I
busy.
don't do
that's
as
a
much. I don't work as hard as I used to, but I'm still there. Yeah,
Look,
not
keep talking about it
like
seriously
before.
because I think it goes into this topic. People are seeing you and they're seeing you making, all these moves and it's family oriented. But again, are they seeing you smile and kind of, and thinking, oh, she's pushover. Oh, she's a pushover. You know what I mean?
No, I'm
Are
telling you,
they
I have the opposite problem because I walk in and I intimidate people and I don't mean to. And I walk in with a smile on my face and I always say good morning. And I walk in and hi guys, how are you guys? Good morning. And I always get that feedback is like, oh my God, you freak everybody out. And I'm like, why? I'm smiling.
right?
I'm trying to be like so I don't know. It's just they don't. I have the opposite problem, but I don't know what it is. I try though. I walk in with a smile on my face. I greet everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it
Well, and
is.
so that's terrible because that's not the Carolina that we know. It's like, no, that's not who we know. She's
Mm-mm.
smiling
Yeah,
and always, very nice to the like, what? They better
yeah,
not be saying that about you, girl. Look, we'll
yeah,
come
yeah.
get them.
Yeah, we'll come to your aid.
Come on now. What about you, Tammy? Is it kind of a similar? You were alluding to being work perspective and such. Do you feel like you kind of get that from people that you working in healthcare and people just automatically assuming, oh well, yeah, she's just going to be kind of a push. Stop making that face. You're a pushover, and then blah 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 happens. You know what I mean?
Well, yes, and partly because of the profession that uh, I say was chosen for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a legacy there, but that's another story for another day. But I think um, nursing in and of itself,
Mm-hmm.
the stereotype, you have two. You have the Nightingale imagery of
Yes.
nursing,
Yes.
or you have Nurse Ratchet from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest or whatever movie, right?
Ah.
Um, you so I definitely am, just because of my personality, because of my love language. I'm
Mm-hmm.
acts of service. I like to serve people. I like to do for people, but I do pay attention to
Yeah.
boundaries, and I don't, yeah. So anyway, but no, nursing, and then of course when you work mother baby, labor and delivery, pediatric nursing. Oh my God, you're just super, super nice. And I've met some really mean people, but but they're amazing labor and delivery nurses. You know what I mean? But it's like, oh, well, you're a nurse, so you have to be nice. You
Mm-hmm.
have to care for me in a certain way. You
Mm-hmm.
have, and it's like, no, 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 I do not. Um, and of course, over the years of working and some of my nurse mentors and watching them and everything and getting their guidance on how to move professionally, but
Mm-hmm.
still be kind,
Mm-hmm.
it's a skill set. It's a
Mm-hmm.
skill set.
Mm-hmm.
And so learning to not take away from doing your job, but showing that you can still do your job in an empathetic way, even though the patients you've been working with have been very demanding, have been
Mm-hmm.
disrespectful,
Mm-hmm.
have been, so like Carolina said, killing them with kindness. I will
Mm-hmm.
not give you the inside joke of medical professionals, but it's in line of, do you really want your pain meds on time? You know, so,
Uh,
because, and a whole nother story, a lot of testing of that
mhm.
occurred during the pandemic
Sure.
shutdown time.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of where you sat on that, the ERs were packed. The ERs were not the place to go.
Mm-hmm.
If you were having a medical issue, too bad for you, because you weren't going to get a doctor's appointment for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was, and so how you stay kind in that situation? How do
Right.
you still hold space for people
Yeah.
with differing perspectives, and then they come into your house demanding all the things, but still disrespecting you because, well,
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to do that anyway,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know?
I think
So,
that the thing that I think I'm hearing both of you ladies say, you're in positions of service. You know, Carolina, you've got the restaurants. Tammy, you're working in healthcare. You're in a position of service or servitude to people. And sometimes, as Tammy was saying, that's taken in as a negative connotation. Again, it's as a, you're supposed to, like it or not, you're supposed to do that. You know,
mhm.
Carolina, I've come to your one of your 5 restaurants. You're supposed to treat me well. You're supposed to, even though I'm sitting here being horrible to your staff and I'm causing a ruckus. Or in Tammy, in your sort of circumstance, you know, I work in healthcare, you know, I get it. You know, coming in overly demanding of
Mhm.
things that are well beyond what you would think that anybody naturally would just do, just as a kind person. But you're still supposed to do it with a smile on your face,
Right.
and you
Yes.
know, you're supposed to present yourself as a professional. And that could be difficult. Carolina, in your case, if you talk a little bit more, you're talking about like your staff. Do you ever get that same feedback from any of your customers if you have to go into any of the locations and have to have any dealings with them one-on-one, that they're like, oh boy, you know, she looks like she's pretty tough.
I hope not. With customers, you know, it's a little different. I don't see the same exact customers every single day, so
Mhm.
it's not quite the same situation as with
Mhm.
my staff.
Right.
But yeah, it's being kind is gets pushed to the limit sometimes with customers because I love and appreciate and all my customers, but there are some that you're just like if they're not they don't make they just you know, and that's where okay, kindness, and this is where I need to be professional and I need to be just the kindness gets pushed to the limits
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
situations like
Yeah.
that because again they have the mentality that they are right no matter what as a customer, which is not always the case. I mean,
Uh-uh.
anywhere, not just my restaurant, anywhere else. People, you know, but like I tell my staff, it doesn't matter if they're not right. They're not right. The customer is not always right, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you have to make it right. Somehow,
Mhm.
some way, you have to fix a situation. So you have to go in with that mentality.
Mhm.
Maybe they're not
Yeah.
right, but it doesn't matter because in your mind they're right in the sense that you have to fix it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I have to kind of and I do and when they get to that extreme, I'm the person they contact. So if it goes through all the channels and nothing gets fixed, I'm the one that has to find a way to fix
Mhm.
it one way
Yeah.
or the other.
And
So
that's the
yeah,
tough
definitely
part.
in that environment, it's the kindness gets pushed to the limit.
Yes,
It
absolutely.
sure does.
Um, that's
Mhm.
one of those scenarios where it's tough being the boss,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's imagine, and Caroline, you get this, but you've always been family. It's always been family oriented business. So you've always been a face of. You
Well,
could never get
see, that's
away
another. I
from.
mean, talking about this whole kind of situation. There's again,
Mhm.
there's relationships, there's work environment, there's friends and family. I work with all family. Like my mom started the business. There's 4 of us total. Um, 3 of us were in the business most of the 40 plus years. My one of my siblings just more recently. Um, and it's a blessing and a nightmare to work with family. It is, you know, we say this all the time. We could have our own reality shows. Like if you guys saw what happens in the corporate offices, it's entertainment, it's drama, it's you know, but that's all I know. All I know is working with
Mhm.
family, and so there also the kindness, the like a level of respect that we have to have. You
Mhm.
know, we many times cross that boundary. I'm not saying that we don't. I'm telling you, we've had uh, some stuff go on, but it's another aspect of the kindness and how it's seen perceived by everybody in your relationships, in your work, in your family and friends. It can be seen as a sign of weakness
Mhm.
for some. Yeah, definitely a lot of aspects to that.
Yep.
Yep.
I wonder if, because again, I say that to say because of the fact that you are family, you've worked at different levels now within the infrastructure of the business. But it doesn't matter. You have the last name because you're a part of the family. So therefore people are looking at you saying, well, you're responsible. Doesn't matter. I don't care if you're the cashier or if, if you're making some, burritos, tacos, whatever it might have been, right?
Mhm.
Chilaquiles, whatever. You could tell I want some breakfast, right? But whatever that is, they don't care. I'm talking to you because this is your business. Hey, I'm only 12. Doesn't matter. It's your business.
Yeah,
Like you said, you have to fix it, you know.
yeah.
And in Tammy's case, Tammy, you've worked, I'm sure, at several levels of management and what it is that you do.
Yeah.
And so when people come seeking you out because you're the head person at the time that's there while they're there, again, what do you do? In healthcare, I feel like it's such a different
It's a different.
animal.
It's a different.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, go
Oh,
ahead.
no. I was just saying it's a different beast.
It is.
Yeah, I'm in case management now, and I work with dialysis patients, so that's even new for me, because I'm working with the chronic illness side, and it's a lot. It's a lot, and your I find that throughout the day, I am either click on. I take 5 minutes every hour, and I just click on some type of bold chanting something for about 5 minutes. I do jumping jacks. I'll do squat, anything just to work out that energy because, um, y- yes, professional, yes, nice, but people are in need of a lot and we can't supply that need. And the needs are real for that person. Um, Co-workers though,
Okay. Yeah. There's a, there's a reason I work from home. Yes, absolutely.
and I do, I work with some cool people, but that kindness thing, it's for some people, they have internalized it as it's the expectation.
Hmm.
And so you were kind to me, I was kind to you, so you need to be kind to me back.
Okay.
And it's like I didn't know that was a transactional
Mm.
situation.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, yeah, so
It's
yeah,
tough.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's tough.
it's tough.
Let's
It's tough.
let's keep going with that. Let's talk a little bit more about specifically family, because I think that that's our first line of defense. That's who we deal with daily. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Um, are we running across? Let's talk children again,
Mhm.
because I love you, but you know what I mean. I feel like when it comes to children, and we could probably sit and talk for the rest of our time on this topic of kids and what they assume you being kind to them represents versus you trying to parent them in any kind of way. So maybe, Carolina, I got to start with you because of the fact you got a teenager. So I got to
Oh my
start with
goodness.
you.
Oh my,
And
I do find that my son, I love him to death. Nobody roasts him more than me. I got to be honest.
Okay.
So we have a different kind of a relationship, my son. Maybe because I'm older, I don't know what it is. My son thinks he's an adult. And
Mm.
I do find that I'm in my family, I'm the one that disciplines. I'm the one that, handles the school stuff. That's just it's just it's me. I'm the mean one. And I find that sometimes when the nicer I am, or when I'm nice or whatever, he thinks he can push those boundaries because, oh, she's being nice. So he pushes the boundaries, and takes advantage of my niceness. And I would tell him growing up, Santi, Do you want to see Mean Mommy? You don't want Mean Mommy to come out. And so I would warn him. But I do find that the nicer I am, he thinks he could push me a little further, until, Mama snaps, and then he sees Mean Mommy, and then he's like, okay, never mind, So yeah, he definitely, when I am nicer, I'm I think even in all my relationships, if I'm nicer, it's like they think like, oh, okay, I can push it. Definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Tammy, what you got for them two young ladies?
And see, that's the thing. You guys have young men.
Mhm.
He's now a teenager, young man, not a little boy.
What you gonna call mine? My kids are old, girl. What you call
No,
mine?
they're still, but they're still there.
Yeah,
You
yes,
know, they're
you do. Yes, you
but
do.
girls, it is different. It is different. It is different.
Well, before you go into that, Tammy, do me a favor.
Mhm.
Talk about being not just a woman, but being a mom of daughters, and what that trifecta for you is, because it's you and your two daughters. How does that kind of, and that's really what I want to dial into a little, because it's a little different conversation for Carolina and I, because we have, like you said, we have boys,
Mhm.
right? But as a woman that's raising women,
Mhm.
and what they may attempt to do, please enlighten me.
Okay.
I'm listening, because I have a daughter by marriage.
Yes.
I'm listening. Yes.
Real quick, I'm a segue, Carolina, when you were talking about your discussions with Santi and asking, do you want to see Mean Mommy
Mhm.
or what? It reminded me so much of my mom dealing with my younger brother, because my brother and I are 10 years apart. So, when I'll put it to you this way, when he hit 13, my mom put him on a plane to Europe to come stay with me for the summer.
Oh, wow.
The whole summer.
I'm not dealing with that.
Right.
So
Look,
when you
you
brought
deal
that
with
up,
your brother.
because my
You deal
mom,
with your little brother.
yeah, my mom used to talk like that to Taj, like, do you want to see this mommy or this mom? And I was like, I never got those questions.
It sounds kind of
Right.
psycho when you put it like that, when you're hearing it after.
Where did the options come from? I didn't get them options. Wait a
I didn't get
minute.
them options.
I just got one way. That's it. I got belt.
Whatever came is what came. But but in raising girls,
Mm-hmm.
whew, um, I took a completely different approach.
Mm-hmm.
Our lifestyle kind of also dictated it as a military family.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, the song that had the hook, "Mama Don't Take No Mess," I'm that one. I don't have time for the bullshit.
Language.
I'm,
What language, love? Language.
oh,
Language.
sorry. Well, yeah. Sorry.
That's okay.
Um, I was very upfront
Mm-hmm.
about a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things, because I can't be there all the time. I cannot protect you like I really, really want to.
Mm-hmm.
But also, that's not good for you, because I
Mm-hmm.
don't want your dependence on me to be so great
Mm-hmm.
that you do walk out that door, you can't even function.
Yeah.
And I don't go up under me like that anyway. Like, we
50 feet.
we
50
can,
feet.
yeah. But I just I told them the truth about life, about expectations, um and it's so, but what I gave them is what I didn't have, and I gave them permission to say no.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Mm-hmm.
I do not like that. No, I do not want to do that. No, I don't want to go out with you. No, I don't like you. No, I don't want to be at the party because no. And guess what? It's okay. You can say no with kindness, and it's okay, but learn to say no.
Would
I was not taught that.
would you
So
would you say, and I apologize for interrupting, would you consider that to be a level of grace? Because you can graciously decline.
mhm, mhm, yeah,
Yeah. Instead of
yeah,
saying no, or no, you can graciously decline.
gracious.
I,
It's
I think
all,
I appreciate the offer, but that you've
yeah,
extended, but I
yeah.
graciously, because
It's all about,
that doesn't bold against the the uh, the topic of people taking your kindness for weakness of sort.
mm,
If I'm graciously declining, that's not me flat out telling you
right.
you know. So yeah, absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Huh,
Girls,
interesting.
yeah, girls, all of all children, no, all taking gender out of it, all children need to learn how to stand in their resolve, whatever,
Hmm.
and be able to learn to read the situation to know how to respond.
Hmm.
But when you respond, be firm with it. Don't fall in, don't give in, don't, just, you know,
Hmm.
say it and then move on to the
Hmm.
next thing. Um,
Hmm.
because your group, your friend group, um, that's going to evolve over time. Um, but the lessons, as I told them, it's easier to learn it when you're in school and you've got safety guards along the way.
Hmm.
When you turn 18 and there's more freedom for you, or you go to college, or you go into the military, whatever, those safeguards aren't there.
Hmm. Hmm.
They're not there. And I got that analogy from an elder in our church with our daughter,
Hmm.
because she wanted to start, Santi, she turned 13. I'm cute, I'm grown, I want to date. And dad was deployed, and dad was like, no, everything was a no. And
Hmm.
one of the elders in our church said, on a phone call with him, he said, do you want her to learn now, where when she calls you, you can be there,
Hmm.
you're there,
Hmm.
you can teach her some lessons going through it now?
Hmm.
Or do you want her to be 18 and there's absolutely nothing you can do?
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
There's nothing you can do. Literally, he
Sure.
said, once she leaves, that's it. So would you rather be able to let her experience it and guide her through the process,
Hmm.
male expectations,
Hmm.
then she gets out, she goes to college, and she meets Boo Boo the Fool, and you got a whole nother situation that you can't do anything about.
Right.
So,
Well, let me say this. Uh, I'll, I'll finish the topic about our kids and how they like to take advantage. Uh,
oh God. And I know that's a,
uh, I mean,
the girls do it to their dad. See, it's a mom and boy, it's a mom and son, and it's a girl and dad.
well,
Because my can get stuff from their dad.
yeah,
Like how?
yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
my brother,
I was a daddy's girl though, but I was a daddy's girl, so that's one thing. Stephen and Ken to this day. Stephen's gonna be my oldest, be 33. My youngest is 30. Sons, daughter's 24. Them boys know they can get anything they want from me. You say it the right way, you know. So my youngest son he still likes to come with them, mom, and hey mom, blah, 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 with the little voice. He know he
The baby
get what he
voice.
wants. And so and I'm not gonna call him out by his nickname. I call him Fatty. Anyway, and he's that man is all of 130 pounds soaking wet, but he's still fatty to me. He was fatty as a child. But Fatty knows he can call me and say something, and I'm like, oh my lover, blah 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 blah. Okay, what do you want? Because I'm not a fool. I may have been born at night, but not last night. And then my oldest looks just like me, so it's like it's hard for me to say no to me, you know. uh, uh, but I have my limits on the things that I will do, and we've grown in relationship, especially having been a single mom for a long time. that they know what those limitations are. They know how far they can go. And there's been times, of course, like with all children, they'll try to push it slightly. But like you, Carolina, and you as well, Tammy, I don't think that I've ever been just kind of, overly kind, sweet, syrupy, sweet mom. I've never been that. I love my sons to death, but there's been a level of discipline that's always been there because was a single mom. I'm doing this by myself, and I got to make sure that you guys have everything you need, because I can't raise you to be men, but I can raise you to be the best people you can be. And to me, the proof is in the product being this pudding of these kids. These two have their own successes, have done it their own way. I've just provided the foundation for them. So me not being overly kind or sweet mom that's a pushover works in their benefit, because now that they're out here in the real world, as you said, Tammy, it's a whole different conversation. So Carolina, as you're talking about Santi, trust me. I'm assuming he's probably up, getting him a couple of hours in, up at one of the locations. If he's not, get him on up there.
I tried.
It's going to give him some character.
I tried.
Tell him he can't have everything. I love you, baby. You might be my only one, but you got to do like I did. I was up there at 12. I was up there at 7. You better get on up here. Catch you a broom. Catch a broom. Get you something. Get you some work ethic. I'm just saying. Because one day it'll be his. It'll be his and his cousin. One day. So,
yeah.
But that being said, well, good stuff,
But
good
that's
stuff.
a legacy, Carolina. That is just so beautiful. It is so beautiful. I love it. I love it. And like,
absolutely,
when you said 12, I remember you telling me that in class, and I was like, what?
Look,
well, actually, I mean, 7 full shift. At seven, she would take. That's when she opened. I was 7 years old, and the first location, and she would take us in Saturday mornings, and I would do like make the little hot sauce cups, or I would take the tails off the chilies, like stuff that I could do. I mean, it wasn't hard manual labor. I mean, it's basically, she didn't have a sitter. She was single mom, 4 kids, starting her own business, working 16-hour days. So she did have support. Our grandparents were there, but she took us in and just made us a part, made us her kids a part of her everyday life, because that's probably the only time she would see us, other than she'd come home, make us dinner, and then go right back to work. So I think she chose to take us probably just to have us around for a little while, because she worked so much in the beginning.
Absolutely.
And then could I double check to the location on Mount Vernon and Baseline? Is that the original?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, they're
interesting.
I mean, well, I'm sorry, what was your question on that? Maybe I didn't hear you right.
The location on Mount Vernon and Baseline. Is that the original location?
That is the site of the original location.
Okay.
Yeah, it used to be an old A&W root beer stand.
Okay.
Yeah, it used to be an old A&W root beer stand, and then that was knocked down, and so the building, so it's on the original location.
Is that right? I didn't know it was A&W. For as long as I've known it's been Amapola, so I'm like, I want to say, I remember seeing it. I saw it back in the 70s, because we moved to Rialto in 76. So I know I saw it in the 70s.
Yeah, she opened in March of 76.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. And then just because I want you to be able to tell us as well, because we're all here and we're listening. Where are the other locations at? Are they all on the E, or are they outside as well?
All of them except for one location's in Colton. But we have one on Baseline, Mount Vernon, one right down the street. I don't know what she was thinking, but literally like not even a mile and a half away, Mount Vernon and 6th. Okay. We have one on Tippecanoe and 5th, one on Del Rosa and Pumalo, and then one off of Valley in Colton. So
love. Shout out to Amapola, anybody that's going to be watching the boss working. Yep. Sorry, guys. Look, she really is nice. Don't think she's not. She's very nice.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Don't push my buttons like my son, and we're good.
There you go. Look, we came back to the topic today. So the dilemmas of being a kind soul, I really feel like, and I want to go back for a minute, because I know, Kelly, you were talking about your mom. Tammy, you talked about your mom as well. Let's maybe talk about those ladies for a second and talk about what we did. Did we push those limits? Were our mothers, because I actually talk about my mom all day. Matter of fact, when I get off, I'm probably going to call her. God bless her. But what did you all see in your moms where you maybe felt like you could push it a little bit, like she's just a pushover, she'll just do whatever I tell her to do, or did you ever feel that way? Did you ever get that? And Tammy, if you don't mind, I'm gonna start with you.
Oh, yeah, no.
Because I
Uh,
know Miss Sharon.
yeah, no, no. Miss did not play that. No.
Yes, ma'am.
No. But I also think too, I'm the oldest. I'm a girl. I'm the oldest daughter. So, and my mom was a teenage mom. So her support system, of course, were the elders. So, like Santee to a degree, Caroline, I was around adults my entire, the only time I saw kids was when I went to school. Once I left school, I was around the
Mm-hmm.
adults. So I was brought up with more of that old school type of parenting. Children are to be seen, not heard, and you better have your chores done before, so mom walks through that door. You know, um, my mom, I think other people took her kindness for granted. And I
No,
think a lot.
elaborate a little bit. Elaborate. What do you mean by that? Elaborate a little bit.
So,
What did you witness? Maybe that's what I'm trying to ask.
um, sometimes one of the things that I witnessed is, hold on a second. Yeah, I know. I just took him out to the bathroom, but he didn't eat. No, he wasn't trying to eat because he knows that you're coming to take him. Sorry. Him is the dog. So don't worry about it. We good. Um, so anyway, but it was in a school setting
Mm-hmm.
specifically, and the way my teacher was talking to my mom, um, and my mom just was like, no, you're not going to talk to me like that. I am not young and dumb. Um, and I know what my child needs. You need to tell me what she needs.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me how to raise her, because I know the child that I'm sending to you. I don't even know why I remember this, but I do. She was like, I know the child that I have sent to you, but what you're giving me back is messing up the flow.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to help me to help her. And this was all about education, just
Mm-hmm.
because, the things that, Carolina, you're probably more aware of, they talk about it. When we were coming up through elementary school and stuff, you know, a lot of things weren't known of or considered, and dyslexia was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my issue.
Mm-hmm.
um you know and it was a struggle. But my mom was always perceived as like she wasn't smart.
Mm.
She wasn't, she doesn't know what I'm talking about, type of thing. So I've seen people, and like I said, my experience has been with teachers, and how she could flip it. And it was,
Mm.
oh, oh, okay, Sharon, I see you, girl. But, but my mom, my mom is nice, is giving, but I don't know. I just think as a teenage parent, there were other things that we kind of grew up at the same time,
Sure.
but in a different way.
Makes
So
sense.
there
Yeah.
are things that, like I said, it clicks memories with me hearing Caroline with Santi, because that's how my mom's relationship was and continues to be with my younger brother, with
Mm-hmm.
Taj, because she was then a, a woman, older, established, getting more established in her career, more, understanding of certain things by where, when you're a teenage mom, there are some things that aren't there. But I thank God for all of it because my mom was surrounded by love. And I'm so
Absolutely.
thankful for her support system.
Absolutely.
Grandparents to her older siblings
Mm-hmm.
and their spouses. I was everybody's baby. I
Mm-hmm.
literally every weekend I was just here, 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 here because of that support. And that's
Yeah.
how my mom went back to school and did all
Mm-hmm.
that. But yeah, no, when it came to, I would say, making sure that I was okay, you know, no, don't take the youthful face and the respectful tone as weakness and
Yeah.
ignorance, because that's not the at all.
Understood. Understood. Caroline, what about for you? And I'm not sure, you said you've got three other siblings. I don't know where you fall in that line. But what's kind of your experience with your mom and your upbringing, and and maybe even to this day, if she still
Yeah.
lives.
There's four of us. So I'm third. My sister's the oldest, a brother, me, and then a younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
Another sister in between that died as a baby before
Mm-hmm.
me. So, but living four.
Mm-hmm.
And we were raised in a different time. My mom's love language was different. My mom's love language was cooking. So I don't know if I got that, from her. But so again, she worked very hard, worked 12, 16-hour days, but my memory is she would always come home and make dinner and then leave again. But she never said, I love you. Like she wasn't the kind, um, to this day, like she'll call me and I could tell she's trying, but she just was brought up different. And that's one thing that I broke with my son, because obviously I tell him every 2 seconds. Well, I'm lying. He tells me every 2 seconds. I tell him a lot throughout the day. But I created that in my son. My son is super loving, super affectionate. Um, and so we broke that cycle, even between our siblings. We didn't grow up saying, I love you to each other. We are making an effort now as adults, even in my friendships. My shout out Vicky and Bo, and we say both watching, I think, where we say it now, and we didn't. It wasn't normal for me. I didn't grow up saying that, and as an adult, I'm saying it now. So bringing it back to my mom, she was just brought up different, and so she was by no means mean. She was a hardworking, loving woman. She was just not lovable like a lot. She never said I love you, but she showed me in a lot of other ways. So I was never, but I never like talking about pushing her buttons or anything. I was a good one in the family. Like my older sister was more of a rebel. I was more of a nerd. Like I literally would read books in junior high. Like I lived in the manor, and they would make fun of me because I lived in the manor, and I would be sitting outside reading a book under a tree, and all my friends would pass by, and they always protected me. They would like, oh, don't mess with her. She's okay. Like basically, they allowed me to be a nerd in peace. So I never personally gave my mom any real problems, because by the time I started getting older and doing stuff, I was already older, so it kind of didn't, wasn't the same thing. So my sister was the one that definitely did that. So my mom was kind. She was loving in her own way, and yeah, I definitely have changed the way we express it, or the way I express it. And I'm super happy about that we were able to break that. I mean, again, even with my friendships, I tell my friends, like, we go have dinner, okay, I love you, and we say that now, and it feels natural, and it's strange, might be strange in the beginning, even with my siblings. I think that's probably the weirdest. Like, when my sister never said it, and now it's like, okay, my nieces, okay, love you, and it's like, oh, it's not that hard. Like, it's just a matter of saying it, and it means so much, and it'll be embedded in their memories as well. So yeah, that was my memory with my mom's. I never pushed her button. She was kind and loving in her love language.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I think there's something about, and you said it a minute ago, Carolina, that there's something about how we were raised, and we talk about that a lot here on the pod. Charlie and I talk about it a lot. Something about that time and space of when we were
I
raised.
wouldn't change it for
Specifically,
anything, though.
girl, look,
Yeah. Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
Do you
Ex-
hear me?
I,
it was
Listen,
the
I
best.
wouldn't
when you said the man,
change.
I went like this. Come on, the man.
I'm a manner
That's what I'm
girl.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, Ale, man, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go. But there's something about that time frame when we were raised and our parents and that generation, they were different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, my mother, very no nonsense type of woman. Similar conversations to both of you. She was just a strong woman. She's a strong woman to this day. She's 81.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
My mom too, 81.
right, but they're just strong women.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I felt like in my case, she had to be to support my dad, similar to Tammy. You know, talking about military families and stuff. You know, my dad, you know, was military. My current husband, military. My ex-husband, military. So I've gone down this path. But the point I want to make is that she was very, very strong, not just for my dad, but for us in all things. And she wasn't verbally like you saying, "Oh, I love you." That I don't recall her having said that. She showed us in other ways, and
Yes.
her presence and always being there. If we had now, Carol, did you do any extracurricular activities? You probably didn't have time to. You
Me,
probably
no,
said,
I mean, I was in junior at Frisbee.
yeah, yeah.
I was president of Mecha.
Yeah.
And then in yes, I
Yes,
was.
she.
Look,
I was.
I gotta mention a story, girl. I gotta mention a
I was
story. But anyway, go
president
ahead.
of Mecha
Yeah.
in junior high, and then and I was in student council in junior high, and then in high school, Mecha as well, and Azurettes for a hot second. I didn't mess with Azurettes so much. It wasn't my crowd.
Oh,
I did
I know
it.
that's it.
I did it. You know why I did it? Just to prove that I could get in.
Yeah.
Because they were so uppity about how they did everything. So I was like, I'm gonna prove I could get in, and I got in, and then I just never went back.
Shout out to the address that Eisenhower.
And their M&Ms,
Well, you're
what was
right.
it? The M&Ms?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I say that to say, whenever we had activities, the important thing was that you showed up. Our mothers in this conversation, they showed up to the ability they could. Again, I don't want to speak for either of your moms, but I know for mine, if my dad wasn't able to be there because he was, you know, overseas, whatever it might be, my mother was always there. So, you know, we had that thing that I knew I could always depend upon her. But again, she didn't verbally say, I love you. And that's what made it difficult for me because I was aware of it. But at the same time, I wasn't the child that was overly needing to hear it, but I wanted to break that cycle with my sons. And I showered saying, I love you upon them, as with my husband. And so now I say it, as you mentioned, sibling. Everybody knows my brother Dane, Big Brother Dane. Shout out Big Brother Dane Hill. Same thing. I tell Dane I love him before I hang up. And that's newer for us. Like you said, Carolina. The same thing, I say it to my mom before we hang up the phone. Hey, okay, I love you, da 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 da. You know, because
I
it
still
means
can't
something
with my
different.
mom. It's weird.
Is that
That's the one thing.
right?
It's
Is that
weird. I
right?
cannot. It just feels like, oh, I just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know the love is there, and that's all
Yeah.
that matters.
Yeah.
You know, the
Yeah.
love and
I
the
mean,
spoken is
yes.
there. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, so again, my mom, no nonsense kind of woman, da 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 da, to this day, and I don't mess with her too much. I'm just put it that way.
Mm.
You know, I'm not saying she's not kind, but she's kind in her way, like we've been talking about. But that strength is what leads. She has a presence about herself. Tammy, your mother has a presence. I've been around your mama before.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, your mother was in business, and she's 4 kids. You better come on. I know she got a presence because I see it in you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw it from someone. See what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
that trickle down. I can't be mad at that. So how can anyone look at you being strong, because that's where I wanted to lead to. Is there a difference between being strong and people misconstruing that for being mean? Because if we're going to talk about, you know, being kind or having this mentality, I'm coming off as being a kind person. What about if they see you and you have strength about you, but it doesn't mean you're mean? You have a strong personality. Would you all kind of characterize yourself as that? And Caroline, I'll
Mm-hmm.
start with you.
Yes. I definitely have that it can come off as mean. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily just mean.
Mhm.
It's just a strong character, and
Mhm.
a lot of people see that as negative,
Mhm.
or a lot of people, especially men, don't can't handle that.
Mhm.
And which is, it's, but I, it's weird because I'm very strong and very independent in many ways, but I am also very submissive in many ways. Like so it's something that I struggle with, that
Mhm.
I probably still don't have complete,
Mhm.
control over, but it's
Mhm.
a work in progress
Amen.
always,
And yeah,
you
Absolutely.
know.
Absolutely. Kevin, what about you?
it's a work in progress. It's a work in
Mhm.
progress. I know as a child, a teenager, um, it was different because again, I was, the way I was brought up and stuff. So I did not, I don't think that I showed that type of confidence um coming up as a kid. But as a woman,
Mhm.
what kicked it in gear was giving birth.
Ooh.
Um, Giving birth to my first child in another country in a hospital that everyone did not speak English, and they
Wow.
would just take my baby. And I was
Mhm.
like, because again, I'm in a European hospital, and at
Mhm.
that time, there were not many brown babies being born, and
Mhm.
American babies being born in the hospital, but a C-section, um, and books. That's what Howard and I had. We
Mhm.
had each other in books,
Mhm.
and it kicked in. It kicked in, and it kicked in really big for me when my father, bless his soul, but when we came back from being stationed in Europe and we were in between bases, my baby got sick. Drew got really sick. So I was at my godmother's house. We get appointments. I figure out where I can go or whatever, because TRICARE, Tanya. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So at the time, there was a naval clinic in Long Beach. So my godmother was like, let's go, let's get her there. Everything gets done. When I call my dad to let him know why I had to change my plans, he went from 0 to 100
Mhm.
and started cutting me out. And
Mhm.
the old me, the younger Tammy, before baby would have cried, would have been
Mhm.
like, sorry, da, 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 da. I mean, just being total, like Carolina said, the submissive daughter.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm so wrong. That 24-year-old Tammy said, hold the presses. I know you are not wanting me to put my daughter's needs to the side for you. I know that's not what you're arguing with me, right? And because he didn't yell back and he didn't cuss me out, that little confidence surge just kept going from my toes to my legs it just was moving through me, and then I couldn't stop, and I let him have it. But at the end I said, I still love you though, but don't you ever fuss at me when I put the needs of my child
Yeah.
before anybody, but
Absolutely.
specifically before my parents. And
Mhm.
but when I said I love you, and I still said, I was like, but I still love you, okay, you know. And then that's when I got my confidence.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
didn't have it before then, and Tanya, you know that.
I do. As you were saying it, I'm thinking, well, I know that. I hung around you a lot. So, some of the comments, and I don't want to not be able to see some of these comments. I don't know if you ladies are able to see it. Charlie is definitely my co-conspirator in all of this, has been lighting up the comments. Just like to be
I
able to
see.
shout out. I see quite a few people have come in and have joined us. And so I want to kind of go back if I could. Greg Carter, I saw you on earlier. Gerald Carter, Brenda Kaufman, Rhonda Cookson. Karen Oaks, I know that you were trying to join us. Technical issues, don't worry about it, sweetheart. We'll get you on another show. I do promise you that. Of course, we have Charlie Red. Daniel Ramirez, I think you had said his name earlier, Carolina. Did you say Daniel's name? Daniel Ramirez?
I don't remember. It might be my cousin, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Great.
We've got Sharon. Again, we've had quite a few. Robbie Sanders. Boy, this is some Eisenhower people. Howard Smith. Boy, I know that name. Don't we know that name, Tammy?
Oh,
Gil
I don't know. Class of
Kimbrough.
'84, my husband. I
Well,
don't know.
how about that? Take that to the bank. Gil Kimbrough, Trabria, good to see you. Ray and Dore Torres, hey, good morning to you. Larry Duncan, you always join us. Bobby Buchanan,
Congratulations
we
to
love you.
Ray and DeRay, their son.
Yes,
Absolutely,
congratulations,
congratulations.
their son. He graduated.
Come on
Yes,
now. Come
yes,
on.
yes.
Vonta Walker, we love you as well. Sharon Morton, I'm just calling everybody out because I'm looking at the names. Dolores Nunez, love you to death. That's my girl from Morgan. Corey Dubose, another Eisenhower. So again, lots of people have joined us. Again, this is the check-in. This is a monthly check-in that both myself and my good friend Charlie Red do. We have conversations about various topics, and today specifically, all female-led, what I like to call panelists, but these are my sisters who I've known for a very long time. I actually met both of you ladies. Actually, no, Tammy, I met you at Morgan.
Yes.
Carolina, I met you at
Great.
Frisbee. Exceptional,
Carolina.
exceptional ladies,
Yep.
exceptional.
Thank you.
I love both of these ladies, absolutely. So again, I want to go back. Is there anything that either of you ladies, when you heard the topic, you're like, okay, well, people, yeah, they may look at me and think, well, I'm nice, but look, but dot 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 dot. You know what I mean? If they only knew dot 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 dot. Is there been a time where you've had to be overly nice to someone or in a situation, and you were grinding your teeth when you were having to do it?
Mhm.
Now I'm looking at both of you thinking, okay, that could be job related, that could be family, that could even be relationship, because we have not talked about husbands. But then again, we have to live with these men, so I don't know if we want to talk about husbands or not. But has there been a
Hmm.
time when you've had to really fall all over yourself being nice to someone, but you were grinding your teeth like, I really don't want to do this? It's a time that
Well,
you can
I'm
think.
sure at some point in my life it's happened. I mean, I think nobody can get out of that at some point. Everybody's in a situation, whether it be at a restaurant with bad service, whether it be, but I mean, right now I can't think of any specific, like you mentioned, the spouse, always pushes the button. So that's a one right there. But I mean, to say nothing stands out like as overly.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm sure I've been in more than one situation where I've had to do that.
And
Mhm.
you know the reason I asked that, because again, the fact that both of you ladies are in servitude. You're in positions where you're serving someone, the public.
Mhm.
Um, and so I know there has to be, I'm not saying that you have to call out specifically, but all of us have had that moment. Maybe we have to think back to when we were in school. Maybe there was a teacher that really was getting on our last nerves. And you're like, you know what? I better not say that because I'm going to be in Miss Young's office getting a referral. So, you know, but kind of on that line. Tammy, what about for you?
Work it. Work. 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 Work.
That's
Definitely
it's
at
just work, work, work,
Work.
work.
Work. Work. Work. Uh, uh, the biggest one was during the pandemic and working ER. And there was, a gentleman came in, whatever. He had all the things, the signs and symptoms, and he, know, was calling folks out of their name,
Oh,
and and he was saying some other things,
oh.
and I still had to do what I had to do,
Hmm.
and I still did it because at the end of the day, all people want to do is go back home to their family.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
They want to make it back, right?
Hmm.
And even though he was my limit was tested, on one hand, we were all as a staff, we were
Okay.
able to come together because it was us. that was getting this treatment.
Mhm.
But to still be able to do your job and to do it with the utmost professionalism.
Yes, yes.
Hey,
And I
hey,
think that's the key. I think that's the key. It's the when you work with when you work with the public, and even though I don't work directly, I work indirectly with the public. But again, I still feel like I have internal um, customers. If you want to say my coworkers are like internal customers,
Mhm.
you still have to be kind. You still have to be professional. You still, because if not, then it can go places you don't need it to
right.
go. And again, in our case, Tammy, I think with us working in management is one thing. Carolina, you are the management, so it's a different conversation, but it's one and the same. Being nice, being kind, being professional, and still having somewhat of a backbone, very, very important. But at the other side of that, if someone just looks at you and they perceive by the look on your face that you are, oh, she looks nice, she looks really kind. I'll come
Mhm.
up and talk to her. Okay,
Mhm.
or the opposite of that is, okay, I'm gonna come over here and talk to her because even though she's sitting there with that little grin on her face, I got something for her. I
Mhm.
feel like I've run across that more than people looking at me saying, oh, she looks so nice and so kind. No, it's okay, I'm gonna go here and give her the business because I probably can tell her whatever I want.
Mhm.
That's not going to work well. And I think that people will take kindness for weakness. People will take the fact that I'm a Christian as being a weak thing because I believe in God. And it's like, no, I mean, yes, I believe in God and I have a walk about myself, but I'm still tiny at the end of the day. And I'm going to talk with you with the level of respect that I would like you to return to me. I'm still going
Mhm.
to be professional. I'm still going to be all of those things, but don't think that just because I'm a Christian that you could just kind of bowl through me. Don't do that. It's not going
Mm.
to work out well. I'm still telling you. Let's not forget that. I'm just saying. That's
I
fair.
think
That's fair.
that the Christian thing's a whole other thing too, because they have expectations, or people have higher expectations of people who are Christian. So I think you probably deal with that on that
Absolutely.
level as well.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm.
We're in a situation now, my husband and I are in a situation now where we are very involved in our church. And so there is a expectation set for that, which we are more than fine with. But people have their days just like we
Mhm.
do. And I would like, and I pray and hope that people will extend grace to us if we're not having a good day, because we extend grace to a lot of people just to be able to stand in the gap for them. So yeah, absolutely, Carolina. It's amazing. But again, kill them with kindness.
Mhm.
Love you through it. Love you through it.
No,
With this
you know,
right look.
you asked me earlier. I have an example. I do. There are people that a couple of people I've experienced in my life where I know they dislike me, which is fine because I'm not for
Mm,
everybody and everybody's not for everybody. That's fine.
Correct.
But it's like I've never really given you a reason. So my mentality is kill them with kindness. Like, okay, you cannot like me, but I'm gonna be nice to you. I'm gonna
Mhm.
continue to be nice to you because I have that power to be able to do. I'm not gonna give you the like I'm not going to grant you that of not liking me for no reason. So I'm
Right.
not going to give you a reason to dislike me.
yeah,
I'm just going to kill you with kindness, and then it's on you.
Yep.
Then you
yeah.
absolutely can say you like me, don't like me. I don't care. But if you don't have a
Mm,
reason to, and it's kind of weird because then they're like, oh wait, they don't know how to react because I'm being nice.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Ladies, I will say, because we're coming to a close and we like to be a respecter of time for the show. But this has been a wonderful topic, wonderful, wonderful topic. And I really wanted to have it with ladies, not to say that the gentlemen don't have an opinion, and we'll come back to you at some point and let you jump on the camera and be you and Charlie. You guys have a great time. But for today's purposes, I didn't want it to be the ladies because of what people perceive. And the perception is, as a woman, you have to just be kind and you have to be, meek, or you have to do all these things. And there are issues in being that way if people want to come and just run all over you.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that you ladies are strong individuals. You were strong then. Tammy, I know you're saying, well, no, Tanya, no, girl, I've seen you in action. That's all I do. way. Caroline, I knew you were strong because I knew your background. I knew that of the restaurants and stuff, and I'm like, this woman is actually putting the work in, and then to know where you're at in the business now. That's why I said elaborate for people because I want people to know how far you've come and what you all have been able to do. Tammy, same thing with you. You work in healthcare. How far you've come and what you've been able to do. Not going to toot horns, but I'm proud of both you ladies. So there you go.
Thank you.
But as we close today, any final thoughts from either of you ladies, whether it be on the topic or the individuals that have joined us in the chat? And I apologize, I wasn't able to have a lot of interactions with chat today, but this conversation has been really, really good. Any final thoughts? And Tammy, I'll start with you.
Final thought is just, you know, continue to be kind, because at the end of the day, the person you come in contact with, you don't know what's behind them and whatever it is.
Absolutely.
So just to be kind, meaning respecting the humanity, does more than any of us could ever know.
Absolutely.
And it always comes back.
Yeah.
Just like you guys said, and I said it too, you know, it comes back, and you know, and it comes back in different ways, just like our moms loved us in different ways. We may not have heard I love you, but we know good and well we can pick up that phone and let it out with our mom.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's
all right.
So
All right.
that's it.
That's good. Good. What do you think, Caroline? What you got, love?
I think that being a woman is hard. Being a woman in today's world is more so. It is in our nature to be nurturing, most of us. And so with that comes kindness. So in these very difficult times and the way things are now, it's exceptionally important to continue and to teach kindness, because I don't think this new generation really focuses on that. And so I personally am trying with my son, and I just think it's something important, and it's something that shouldn't be lost. You know, a lot of things have changed. My son is a completely different person and is growing up in a completely different world than how I grew up. But kindness is just fundamental. That's something that shouldn't ever go away. And it's something that has to be actively taught, because some people aren't inherently have it, and they don't have it. And sometimes you can just teach it. Sometimes you can just tell your children every single morning and remind them, be kind, be kind, be kind today, choose kindness today. And maybe it can be learned if they don't naturally have it. You know, it's better than nothing. It's trying, and it's worth the try. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's definitely not easy, but it's something that shouldn't be forgotten and just kind of let it to just sweep away. Kindness is important.
Yeah, yeah. You know, the word that I used earlier was grace and being gracious. And again, maybe that goes back to my Christian mentality to extend grace. You know, I said to Charlie not too long ago, a lot of the times I've extended grace, but it hasn't been, you know, given back to me. I don't hold that against people. I want to extend grace to everyone. Because again, I don't know what kind of day they're having. I don't know what happened before they encountered me. And it could just be a day. You know, that doesn't mean that that's who they are. So I want to make sure that I present a smile and I present something that's pleasing, because again, that might be the thing that turns them around. So I absolutely agree that with that, let me extend grace to everyone. So yeah, I love that. I love that. Ladies, I appreciate you more than you'll absolutely ever know. To everyone that's actually checked in, to my co-founder, my co-part in crime, who's been hanging out in the
yeah, Charlie, I haven't seen you in years.
Charlie Red with his little old self. But anyway, ladies, I love you. I appreciate you. Everyone, this has been the check-in. We appreciate you. We'll see you next month. Remember, first Saturday of every month, 12 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, and then 9 a.m. for our Pacific Coasters. So again, this has been the check-in. We appreciate you. We love you.
Thank
See you
you.
soon.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.